So, how's it going?
Are we on?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, sweet. What's up? How you doing?
I'm good. This is the second podcast today, so
A little sleepy.
I just had to change the shirt, and I'm not sleepy because I have coffee.
Oh, shit. I should have tapped in on that.
You can tap this if you want.
I would love to, actually.
Yeah.
Straight black, too.
We got Carly, aka DJ Hotbox.
What's up, everybody?
Yes. Everybody. So, I like to break this podcast down into about 3 sections. A little past, present, future over the course of an hour.
Okay, nice.
And I know you've been staying busy lately.
Yes, very busy. Very busy.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Let's talk about, I'm curious, first off, go ahead and plug yourself. Like, all your social media, your artist name, spell it out, tell people where to find you really quick.
Sweet. So I go by DJ Hotbox. If we have time, I'll tell you why.
We will.
You can go at DJ HTBX. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. TikTok is my current obsession, my current favorite at the moment. So you can follow me on all of those. And I will follow you back if you send me a little message.
She will. So, how did you get into this whole DJ thing?
So, I'd been going to festivals. Okeechobee was my first, and I was actually really into that for a little bit. Then I took a break. Then I went on Holy Ship 13.0. I believe that was 2019, and it was just 4 days straight of like Dirty Bird, what's that other label? Desert Hearts, stuff like that, and I was like obsessed with house music after that, and I'd been saving up money for some sort of time. I didn't have a car at the time, so I was like, I can either take this $1,000 that I've saved up for myself, I can buy myself some DJ equipment, or I can buy myself a car.
Ooh.
And I called my mom, and I was like, and I have a pretty shiesty driving record. My mom's very nervous about my driving all the time. So she was like, hun, if I were you, I would just get the DJ stuff.
Oh my God.
Not the car.
Stop.
So I got the DJ stuff. And at the time, there were also no really female DJs in the Charleston area. So I was blessed to know some good people. Actually, that's what they were called.
Yeah,
Good People Entertainment.
Good People
and they were like, hey,
out.
we know you're pretty new, but if you'd like, you can come to Purple Buffalo and you can open us up for 45 minutes. And we'll give you $20 or something like that. And I was like, you don't have to pay me anything. Like, super nervous. I think Philip and Sven, what does Sven go by now?
He's now Dynasty.
Yes, so Double Crown here and Dynasty helped me set up because I was so new. I didn't even know how to really plug it up to the large speakers, but they got me started.
We've all been there.
And so, yeah, it was super fun, and I just kept it going after that.
Well, shit, yeah. How did you even get interested in electronic dance music, as growing up? Wait, how old are you now?
I'm 25.
Okay, so 25. Growing up, we didn't really some electronic music was out there, but not to the sort of extent that it is here now. Like,
Gotcha.
What did you even listen to before all this, and how did that blend into what you are now listening to and DJing?
That's tough. So it's all been different, to be honest with you. It's crazy. Whenever my first concert was a Christian rock show, and I was all about it too. I was super into church when I was a kid, and it was this band called the Barlow Girls.
Really?
And they were like a Christian hard rock band, and my mom took me to see them, and I was really into that. But I grew up, so my dad's originally from Puerto Rico, but moved to New York. And so he's really into Biggie Smalls and, the Junior Mafia stuff. So I listened to a lot of that growing up. Also, coming from a Puerto Rican family, we listened to a lot of salsa. This one group in particular, it's called, I can't think of the name. It's a salsa group that's like based out in Puerto Rico. We would listen to a lot of Puerto Rican salsa music when I was growing up. My mom's very religious, so she listened to a lot of Christian music. So it was weird when I was at my dad's, we'd be listening to Junior Mafia and salsa, and then when I'd go back to my mom's house, it was like Christian music.
What an eclectic blend, yeah.
Such a weird blend of music, but yeah, I definitely listened to a lot of rap, a lot of hip hop in high school and stuff like that, and a lot of reggaeton. That's still one of my favorites. That one's always going to be a special one to me, but I would say as far as electronic music goes, I wasn't super into it till after Okeechobee when I did that with my best friend Lori took me to that festival.
Oh, Lori. So wait, you basically went out there on a whim? Like you didn't really listen to that before? Or?
Never
No.
listened to it. Like maybe like the popular songs that would
Yeah.
come on the radio, but it was a whole new world for me and I loved it. So it's a funny story actually. Lori and we met at Swamp Fox Hotel, or I'm sorry, it's Francis Marion Hotel, Swamp Fox Restaurant. We were working there. We weren't really friends at first, but we sort of became friends, and then we became roommates, and she was like, I have this great opportunity for you. We can go to Okeechobee, and they have this thing where you can work for free, or I'm sorry, where you get your ticket for free if you do a little volunteer work with them.
Yeah, work trade.
So, exactly. So, at the end of the story, you'll see why I'm not qualified for that anymore. So, I put the 300 down. I did I did 2 of my 3 shifts. And on the last one, I had just had way too much to drink.
Oh, no.
And so I showed up to it sucked because it was the 4th day of the festival. So I literally could have just like paid for the ticket and not done any of those shifts. But they were like, you seem like you're too drunk to be working right now. And at that moment, the guy who fired me, I gave him a big hug and I was like, thank you so much. I get to enjoy my last day of the festival.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know, but Lori told me.
You did 2 out of 3.
Oh, I know, that sucked. But still, it was like, I got to experience that full last night. We ended with,
Nice.
ass nectar. So that was that was, I mean, with all the terrible things about him now, like, I will say that was a cool thing to experience at your first festival, regardless of his whatever the fuck he's doing now. It was a cool thing to see and experience.
Yeah. For those who don't know, just long story short, Bass Nectar, aka Ass Nectar, he got wrapped up in some just screwing around with underage chicks. So nobody fucks with him anymore, and that's the consensus in the EDM community.
Yes, absolutely. Fuck that dude. But yeah, I will say, before all that had come out, he was a fun show to see.
Right. Nah, yeah, we remember those days.
before we knew that awful side of him. But that's
Yeah.
what I love about the EDM community that you don't really see in the rap community, in the rock community. Like, if somebody fucks up and does some shit like that, they're canceled.
Yeah,
they're done
canceled.
in our community.
That's the way it goes. Y'all gotta teach them to learn.
I know. The EDM community, I think we're awesome for that.
Yeah, so that's a really cool first festival experience, like first festival syndrome where you go and you're like, I don't even know what to expect,
Oh,
and then all of a
God.
sudden you come out like wearing a pashmina burning sage.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. That's how it went.
Asking where the wubs at. No, but that's cool because Okeechobee has a bunch of different kinds of styles of music. I know they keep it pretty eclectic.
Right, definitely.
Like, if I'm not even mistaken, Meg Thee Stallion has been there. Everything like Tammy Impala, some electronic like house music, also some like more dubsteppy stuff.
Oh,
if I'm
definitely.
Not mistaken. Like, they're not racist with like the genres, and I've yet to go to Okeechobee.
Oh, really?
But I've been to a few other Florida festivals, like Past the Good was like the first when I played out there.
Wow.
At Vortex Springs, then Zen Awakening, and then EDC Orlando, where I got
that
to
one.
DJ like the official after party. That was sick.
Shit.
Yeah, at home, like the home base thing. That was just like,
Wow.
no, that's where like knowing people really comes into play.
Oh, definitely.
And like keeping your thumb drive on you.
Oh, definitely. So, Zen Awakening, does that happen anymore?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There was a few of them, like Mr. Bill had headlined, Random Rab, like back then. It was like 2017
Okay.
ish era.
I remember always wanting to go to that one, and I haven't heard anything about it lately, so.
Yeah, so those are like some smaller tier festivals. But yeah, EDC obviously huge, like insane production value, all that good stuff. But then, so after that, you walked away thinking, okay, maybe there's some artists that I like. Like, wait, did you already plug your artist name, Hotbox HTBX?
No, so
Do that
I
really quick for our
think
listeners.
HTBX. Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram, SoundCloud. I think I forgot SoundCloud before, so thank you. SoundCloud, Facebook, TikTok, all of that. So no, I actually didn't have the name picked out yet. I hadn't really figured out what kind of music I mostly liked, because whenever Lori and I did do Okeechobee, I didn't know any of the EDM names. I went to Usher and the Roots, which was one of the best shows I've ever seen. I think Wiz Khalifa, French Kiwi Juice. Those were sort of the names that I knew about and I wanted to see. But after Holy Ship, I'll say that's when I really, because I went with, like, if y'all know Free Surf, people like that who were really deep into house music, and I kind of tagged along, and I was like, oh my god, this shit is so cool, so dope. I had always just thought it was such a boring category of music, but until you put it on your fucking earplugs so you can hear the bass and all the differences, it's a really great genre, especially that Dirty Bird sort of West Coast house music sound. It sucked me in, and so that's what I wanted to sort of go more towards musically.
Do you think it was the fact that you were there live that it really hit you in an impactful way versus like just going on like some YouTube or whatever?
Oh, definitely.
It's like an X factor to the whole experience that y'all gotta know about.
Oh, definitely. And for anyone who's never been to a smaller festival, like I think Holy Ship was maybe like 3,000 people in comparison to something that's like, oh yeah, it's not on a cruise ship anymore. But that first year that I went, it was on a cruise ship. Yeah, like 3,000 people. I highly recommend that. I think EDC is 100,000 people.
Yeah, it's something ridiculous.
Something crazy like that.
Biggest by far I've been.
Which those are really fun, but I highly recommend anybody who can go to a small intimate festival to do it. You just run into the same people all the time. You don't need to have your phone on you. You just, if you have the same music taste as these people, you'll just run into them all the time, and it's really special. And I think that's another thing that got me more into the house scene, was just running into these same people over and over again. And EDM fans, I'm a little biased, but I do think they're probably the nicest fan base.
No, I agree. It's like, I saw this meme recently where it's like people who listen to, say, like quote unquote EDM right now were like perhaps people that were kind of felt like rejects that needed to find a place that like kind of was accepting, like not only was the music what they liked, but the community around it and just feeling welcomed.
Oh, definitely.
And then the meme was like that contrasted against like now it's where like bros are coming in, like people that are like, say, like popular in their circles. Like it's just like this weird mash. Like I'm glad that everybody likes all music,
right.
But it seems like there's like when you get to the bigger festivals that there's more of like those kinds of types of people that you wouldn't see at the smaller, more intimate music festivals.
Right, that's true. I can see that.
I love all people, don't get me wrong. That was just like me describing a meme in the not the best way.
I like it. That definitely makes sense. Speaking of that, I'm actually, so in March, I'm going to Rolling Loud. If y'all don't know, that's a huge rap festival, and I'm so excited because I do love rap. Always have. That's one that I'll always love. But I got some advice from some friends who do the EDM festivals and the rap festivals. They're like, don't go into it with the same mindset. Like, it's not going to be the same crowd. It's not really going to be the plur vibes. Have fun, but be careful. Like, I'm so excited. I mean, that, I don't know if you listen to a lot of rap, but like that. I mean, I do. That lineup is fucking nuts, and I'm so excited. They were just like, just kind of watch your back, especially with it being a huge, giant festival, like right in the middle of Inglewood.
I was wondering, it's definitely on the West Coast, right?
West Coast, California.
I went to go see Snoop Dogg up in Charlotte a few years back, and I didn't expect it to turn out the way it did. Like, don't get me wrong, it was a great show. Snoop took like 30 extra minutes to get on stage than he like was supposed to, which
wow.
I'm like, okay, just play Xbox and beat the fucking team and then come out. I think he was like literally playing video games is what like a rumor was. But anywho, you never know. He comes out, people are trying to smoke weed inside the Fillmore, I'm pretty sure it was, and like people getting kicked out. Then all of a sudden there was like a bunch of fucking fights, like people just wiling out. And I was, complete turnaround from the Plur vibes, which is like an acronym for peace, love, unity, and respect. Those in the EDM community have heard this before. And so that's important to acknowledge. And I'm praying that everybody will be fine, and I'm wishing the best for you out there. That's going to be a monumental experience.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. I will say also, the rap community, they're pretty good about canceling out the bad people too. I remember when the baby got on and said some sort of homophobe. What did he say? It was something super fucked up. Oh yeah, he goes, shout out to all those gay dudes who've got HIV or some shit like that. Some like out of pocket, like random shit. And, you know, he got taken off all these lineups. Like, soon as he said that shit. And I was like, okay, the rap community is really good about keeping it real as well.
Apparently, from what I heard, he literally killed somebody in a Walmart and got away with it.
Really?
Something like that. Like,
oh wow,
y'all look that up. Don't hold me to it, but
I'm gonna have to look that up whenever I get home. That's crazy.
Yeah, and rap music is like a serious staple here, especially in the Southeast. We're in Charleston, South Carolina, and Atlanta is the southeastern hub for all that. It's pretty much like somebody was, one of my recording artists was telling me, he's like, yo, it's like the Black Hollywood for the East Coast. So I was like, oh shit, like that's an interesting way of thinking about it, you know?
That's interesting.
They're out here pulling weight, and I think we all listened to rap growing up.
Definitely.
You know, like 3 6 Mafia, like I was literally like listening to all my sister's CDs back when compact discs were a thing.
Oh yeah. I remember burning CDs. What was that website that we could use?
Napster, LimeWire, Morpheus.
LimeWire's the one I used, and I just burnt so many CDs.
Oh my God.
It was the best. I missed that era.
I know, back right before iPods and everything. Now it's just all streaming.
Oh, I know. That it was a great era of music. That actually makes me think. So, whenever I was in high school, I went to high school at this high school called Wilson High School. It was a really lit school. So lit that when I got to college, I was like, what the fuck is this? This is supposed to be a party? Anyways, I was like, I'm used to like these awesome parties where people are passing bottles around and singing. Like, got to College of Charleston, a party is like 6 dudes in a living room with a pack of Bud Light with all the lights on. I'm like, what the
all the lights
fuck is going on? Bluetooth speaker. Anyways, and then I met the EDM scene. I was like, okay, you guys know how to party. But anyhow, Migos came to R.I.P. Takeoff. Migos came to the small venue in my high school, and they did a show, and we were all underage as fuck in high school. We just went up to the bouncer, showed him our real IDs that said you're 16, 17, whatever, and you're supposed to be 21 to get in. He looked at it, would let you in if you were a girl. Yeah. So we got to go in and see Migos at like 16 years old. No Amazing show. But jealous. You know, like you said, I know a lot of rappers are notoriously late for their shows. So we stood in there for like 2 hours waiting for Migos. They came out and performed for about 30 minutes. Best performance ever. We didn't even care how long. It was just fun. It was so much fun.
And that was back then.
Yeah, so I graduated high school in 2015, so this was probably like 2014, maybe a little earlier, but we had some crazy people go to that club, like, who are huge now. Lil Boosie came one time. I guess he's always been huge. I didn't get to see him, but Kodak Black came to that club. It was just...
Oh, shit.
It was a really cool little, like, middle of nowhere club. In Florence, South Carolina.
What was it called again?
The club? I can't remember. They changed the name of the club so many times, but if you know...
Then they go to Florence?
Yo, I know, it's crazy.
That's a bohicket.
Florence, South Carolina, the club was on Second Loop, right behind the Cookout. That's how I can describe it. And the name would change all the time.
It was one of those clubs.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, at least they kept it going.
But it was huge, and it was lit every single time. It was packed. So much fun.
Damn, yeah. So that was in Florence. So what brought you to Charleston?
I went to college here. I went to College of Charleston. Go Cougars.
So
Yeah, I studied psych. Well, so I started business, and then halfway through I was like, I want to do psychology.
Okay.
So I did that, and then
Dance floor psychology.
dance floor psychology.
Yes,
You already
PhD in
know.
it.
Yeah, so I wanted to make that a career, but my mom's a psychologist, and so I was wanting to work with younger kids because I love kids, and my mom does that, and she has all these awful stories about these traumatic things you have to hear from kids. So I was like, I'm
boy.
gonna stick with music for now and see what happens.
So you graduated?
I did, yeah.
Nice. Okay. At least you graduated.
2019, I graduated.
Good for you.
Yeah, so I still might do something maybe one day with that, but definitely not listening to these terrible stories. I think I wouldn't be able to forget about that after leaving the office.
Some PTSD, some work PTSD. No, I feel that. I went to college for a little bit for business at first, and then dropped out second.
CFC?
No, this is at Winthrop University in Rock Hill.
Shit! I had a
Yeah.
lot of friends who went to Winthrop.
So you came to Charleston for college, and then you stayed afterwards.
Yeah, I did. I did. I love it here.
What kept you here in Charleston?
So I don't know how to answer that really. I have some really great friends here, and great opportunities. I'm still thinking of relocating to Charlotte, so I'm working at Trio nightclub right now.
Shout out Trio.
Shout out to Trio Charleston.
We love you.
Yes, we love you, Trio. And
So you're doing lights, not to cut you off, you're doing lights and DJing and shit?
So I'll DJ there from maybe time to time. I talked to like one of my bosses, and they were like, we want you to do a little more hip hop and DJing stuff downstairs. But right now I'm pretty much only doing the lighting there, which
is awesome.
I honestly like it more than I like DJing now.
What? Yeah, it's like you're DJing the lights.
It's crazy, and it's just a lot of room for creativity. I was actually talking with Sammy Nuke. I'm not sure. You know Sammy.
Yeah, middle part. Yeah, he's
middle
really cool.
part.
Yeah,
Awesome dude.
90s style.
Very 90s style. Me and him have gotten really tight. So he started doing lights at Trio, and he shadowed me a couple times. And he was like, this was last, I think it was last Saturday. He came and shadowed me. It was DJ Soto, and someone else was playing. I can't remember who. It's all a blur.
Yeah.
It's been a long week, but either way, we were doing the lights, and he was like, this is just so much to learn, so much to take in. And I was telling him, literally, I've been doing lighting for over a year now, and I still learn something new every single shift.
Good.
Like,
that's how it should be.
It's fun. It keeps it interesting. Like, one night we were really slow at work, so I just was like mashing random buttons to see what they do. Ended up crashing the computer somehow during the shift, but luckily it was like a slower night. So I was like, all right, like I just have to reboot the system. Nobody noticed, you know.
That's what you have to go through. If you are a DJ or a light engineer and you haven't gone through something like that, then you aren't there yet, because you have to know how to recoil in those moments. Like, oh my god, my USB on the CDJs just went into emergency loop mode, and
What
there's
do I
like
do?
fucking 200 people in front of me. Yeah, or like same
Right.
with the lights, like things like that really thicken your skin.
Oh, definitely. And now I've gotten more comfortable with rebooting, and that's what I've learned with the lights, is like a lot of the issues you can just resolve by rebooting. I'm lucky to have Laser Catcher, Seth as my boss. Shout out to Laser Catcher. He's an awesome boss. I remember the first time that something went wrong, and it was a packed night at Trio. I think it was Ghastly.
Oh.
It was Ghastly.
Yeah.
His opener was on.
The Pokemon, yeah.
I don't remember who was opening for him, but the opener started. Oh, it was Cam Jam and Michael, and they were on, and something happened. I can't remember what happened, but I was freaking the fuck out. And this story makes me feel so lucky to have Seth. So I called Seth, music blasting, I can barely hear him.
Oh my God.
And I was like, just like freaking out a mile a minute. And he was like, all right, first thing you need to do, number one, calm down.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I'm so lucky to have someone like that, because I know a lot of bosses, like my bosses at my food and bev jobs that I've worked, if I call them and I'm freaking out, they're like, oh my God, like they'll feed off of
equally
you.
Anxious.
Yeah, and Seth was just very much like, first thing you need to do is chill. Second thing you need to do is you need to just like cut the Grand MA off and just reboot. It's gonna be all right. You know, you gotta calm down. And so like after that moment, I've just been like, okay, the first thing I need to do when I'm freaking the fuck out is just like, calm down. It's gonna be all right. You're gonna find a solution for this.
Keep calm.
That in the end has made me a better DJ and a better light designer, just knowing how to calm down and keep your composure, and you'll figure it out.
Straight up. So that's really cool. You're working, or I assume you're still doing shifts there.
Yeah. I'm going there tonight, actually.
Who's DJing?
DJ Soto. It's a reggaeton night. We got Trioteca is what they're calling it. It's my favorite night of the month.
I still need to make it out to a Trioteca.
Oh
I
my
love
God,
Soto.
you do.
He literally gave me, I think, my first gig ever, and like,
oh really?
Taught me some very basic mixing principles that I still even use to this day.
Oh yeah, I love DJ. Shout out DJ Soto. He's an awesome person to know as well. Very genuine, big heart, always
Seriously.
willing to teach.
Yes, DJ SOTO. Go check him out. He's so good. I love that dude to infinity and beyond.
And he's really brought the Latin scene back to Charleston. So when I first moved here, before I was listening to EDM. When I moved here, I was like 18, so I still couldn't go out anywhere except for to the Latin clubs. It was 18 and up to go there. So I would go there, and it was really lit, and then it was popping off when I first got here, but then the past, like, I want to say 2 or 3 years, it's fallen off. Like, if you want to find a cool Latin club, it's very, very difficult to do so. And Soto's kind of brought that scene to Trio, and I absolutely love him for that. It's popping off every single night that we do it.
I'm glad, because he was a club DJ just prior to, I mean, he still is a club DJ, don't get me wrong, but I have been to so many of his sets that it's a relief to know that he's like holding up for his community. You know, I know he's Guatemalan.
He's Guatemalan, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, it's important because there's a huge cultural blend here in Charleston and everywhere, regardless. And music is something that is just so binding for people. The communal experience, like, for him to be doing something like that is a good gesture, and I'm glad it's being supported and people are coming out and getting with it, because
definitely
he's the guy.
Yeah, if you haven't been to our Trioteca at Trio Charleston, you've got to check one out. Even if you're not really into, I've noticed, like, people who aren't even really into Spanish music, like, you're gonna have a great time.
Exactly.
I promise you that you're gonna have a great time.
I love Trio for that. Best lights in town, I think, hands down.
I agree. Deco's got a pretty great rig as well, but I think Trio's number one.
I haven't
at
been
most
to
things.
Deco since their renovation, unfortunately.
That looks cool in there.
I know, I've seen so many snaps and everything. I need to get back in there.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm always like, man, if I'm not DJing, I don't really want to go.
I'm the same way. I'm like, I don't want to go to a club if I'm not DJing either, just because you're there all the time in nightclubs. So it's like hard to go there and just have a good time. But if you can make yourself go, then you usually have fun.
So it's like one of your first shows, it was at Purple Buffalo. We always got to shout out the Purple Buffalo.
Always. Shout out to Purple Buffalo. Shout out to Dan.
Dan Dickey is the man. Y'all,
he is.
Y'all need to go check out Purple Buffalo. It's the premier underground venue
definitely.
here in Charleston. It's just barely like a stone throw from the actual heart of downtown Charleston. Just far enough to be secluded in its own little area,
definitely,
but not too far to just like
where you're like, fuck it, if I go here I'm stuck here all night. Like, you're what,
no, it's like
5 minutes from downtown.
Yeah, exactly, like 5 minutes. And so I love that so many of my guests and friends are with that as well, because you've got like the above ground stuff like Trio, then you got like the underground stuff like Purple Buffalo, and everything even in between, you know. I know you've DJ'd elsewhere. What Oh my God. Okay, what are some of your... This is a question I think I've yet to ask a guest, is if you can recall, what is your best time as a DJ and your worst time as a DJ? I know I've got some serious fails, and I know I got some serious successes.
I have a lot of best times, honestly. There's been so many incredible moments. I think probably my highlight would be opening up for one of my favorite artists, which was Nora En Pure.
Oh yeah,
this was at Trio.
Once again,
a couple years ago. Nora En Pure, she is one of the reasons that I was into that sort of music. And I remember Eric, the owner of the club, texted me and was like, "Would you want to open?" And I was like, I think I screamed, and my roommate was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Hey, I'm about to open for Nora En Pure next month." So I think that was my highlight. My least favorite moment as a DJ.
Any DJ fails, like all the above.
It was my first gig where I was playing open format, and I was just not at all prepared for it.
And where was this at?
It was at and it was also the most money I've ever made DJing too. So I'll go ahead and throw that out there. So it was worth it at the end. But it was called Victor's Social Club. It was New Year's Eve, not this year, but last year. And that was when
New Year's Eve are high-paying gigs.
Sheesh. That's when I had decided, like, okay, because before I was too prideful. I was like, if it's not house or EDM or Spanish music, I'm not going to play it. Like, I don't care how much I get paid. And they're like, well, how about for this much? I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do it. Yeah. And so I have this year and last year really tried to get more into the open format. I know a lot of like these famous EDM DJs like Walker and Royce, for example.
Yeah.
They started out as, song requests, and now they're only playing tech house wherever they want to go. So I try to keep that mindset of like, it doesn't matter if you don't really like the music. Anyways, I went off topic a little bit. Not really.
There. It's all pertaining to music, but yeah.
So I got this gig, and I had just started downloading some music, some open format stuff. And when I got there, the crowd was just a lot older of a crowd than I had pictured. I'm talking like 60s. Oh. Like 60s plus.
Damn, they're out on New Year's turning up.
They were, and I had come with a lot of rap and like... and like pop EDM, and I was like, oh shit, my first song request was My Girl by The Temptations.
I was
like, oh no, I did not prepare for this the way I should have. It was literally a line of song requests the entire night, and it was all like songs I'd never heard of before, like just really old music, very much like cotillion vibes. I don't know. And by the end of it, I'd gotten my groove a little bit more, and I had, I used BPM Supreme pretty much for all my songs. So I was using BPM Supreme, and I had somehow found like older wedding party like playlists, and I just downloaded that shit right then and there and was playing songs after, and then, people were vibing after that, but it was so weird. Like the ball dropped and everyone was coming up, like 5 different people come up and were like, we want to hear this song for the ball drop or this song for the ball drop. I went with Don't Stop Believin' by Journey. And that song makes old white people go crazy. So they were literally like vibing so hard to that song. But at the end, this lady walks up to me and she was like, excuse me, you never played my song request. And I was like, well, we're closed now. Like, you guys were bombarding me with requests the whole time. Like, I can't get to everybody's. We're closed now. The lady came up who booked me, and she was like, if you don't mind, get on the mic and tell them, like, to close their tabs. And so I was like, I got on the mic. I was like, hey, unfortunately, the night's coming to an end. Close out your tabs. It's time to go. And this lady came up and was just fucking pissed. She was like... And whenever I told her, I was like, I'm sorry, we're closed, she literally goes, wow. Wow. Okay, all right. And as I was packing up my shit, I see her outside just, like, mean mugging me the whole time I was packing my shit up. And it was just, like, it was that sort of crowd. So I guess that was probably the worst time I've ever had DJing. I was looking at my watch every 5 minutes like, damn, is this shit about to be over? Like, I just want to go home.
That's stressful. Yeah, New Year's Eve for DJs is definitely one of the most important nights of the year, debatably the most important. And it's stressful. Like, requests can be annoying. Just to backtrack to people, what the certain context words were, open format is a style of DJing where you basically play multi-genres. Like, it's not just one thing or another. It's usually just middle of the road club stuff or even old school stuff. Like, that's just what you call it, open format. That's anything goes basically style. And BPM Supreme is a DJ pool website. That's where people go. You pay monthly subscriptions to have access to all sorts of like exclusive edits, remixes, releases, things like that. And I feel you. Like, I always get frustrated just on a primal level about requests, but then I had to sort of just be above it and think, okay, this is what people are legitimately interested in hearing.
Right.
Like, I can't be pissed off that they want to hear, that they're coming up to want to hear a song. But then I started developing sort of strategies. Like, a lot of people will come up and be like, hey, do you take requests? As they're like spilling a drink on your DJ controller.
I know, fuck that.
I know. And then I'll like push back their cup and be like, do I take requests? Do you tip DJs for requests?
Yeah.
And then they're always like, what? I was like, yeah. Do you tip DJs for requests? It's like an equal-sided question to you. Do you take requests? And, you know, every night, like, a majority of the time, they'll actually, like, find a way to tip me. Like, a shot, or, like, literally even Venmo sometimes. Like, where they'll be like, do you take Venmo? Or whatever. I'll be like, I got time for this right now. Boom. I'll play them their song. I do have one story really quick where this guy was trying to get me to play Mr. Jones by, like, Counting Crows.
Oh, wow.
Okay, now get this. In hindsight, I might have should have taken the request, but this is the context. Okay, Midtown. You remember Midtown?
Oh my God, of course.
Crazy college bar, a badass place to DJ. It's open format. And this one random guy came up and he was asking me to play that song, and I was like, in your dreams, dude, like, whatever, no. And then he was like, I'll tip you $100.
Oh.
He pulled out a $100 bill, and the way that the crowd was, there was no way I could play that song at that time.
I think I would have had to do it.
I was definitely way too proud to play that, and so I was just like, dude, I don't even care if you have $100. Like, I don't think it would go over well right now. I didn't want to play that at all. It's
just
like,
kill the whole vibe.
Yeah, for $100, like, it was just way too much at stake at that point in my DJ career, where I was just like, I couldn't take any chances, really. But now I'm way more open to it, and we'll find ways to, okay, yeah, boom, play it for 2 seconds, mix out. All right, give him $100.
Yeah, for real.
Just kidding. I'm not that shiesty.
I'm happy to take requests usually, but I do have this on my phone. Oh, wait.
Oh, like the Cash App?
I have my Cash App on my phone.
You are straight off the rip. Show that. Look at that.
So,
that's
like,
good.
if they
and
get...
It says $5
It says
$5.
But the beauty in that, like, and I only do that, I promise you, I only do that if it gets excessive. Like, last time I was at Republic, it was a Thursday night, and I took requests all night long. Happy to do it. Give me a birthday shout out. I got you. Like, that doesn't annoy me. When I first started doing open format, it really got on my nerves. But now I'm just like, I don't mind requests. I don't. But if it's the same person who, like, okay, I finished your request, then you ask me for another, then another, then another, then another, then I'm gonna be like, all right, like, this is getting too much. Like, you're using me for my speakers at this point. Like, $5. But I've noticed when I do pull that out on people, they either get pissed off and they storm away, or they send me like $20 or $30.
Right. See, it goes to show, you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. I know Sparkbox wears that hat sometimes. There's like no requests, like just straight on the front. Boom, he'll just point to it. Like, I don't think he really cares. Like, he just can do what he does, and people will be happy.
Well, he's a
regardless.
legend here.
Yeah.
He can kind of do that for like someone like me who's pretty new to like. I mean, I've been doing open format for like a year and a half now. Maybe like I don't think people really necessarily like know who Hotbox is unless you're like in the underground EDM scene.
But that's what's cool about open format and being a multivarious sort of DJ. Like, as in, you can do open format, you can do reggaeton, you can do house, like, etc. And a lot of my guests are usually like very much in one vein. And like you were saying about Walker and Royce, where they started out as sort of like, maybe, I guess, club DJs, like on the open format spectrum, and you work your way up. Like, being able to DJ to different sorts of audiences and everything and events is an important thing that I think will fortify your skills as a DJ for any other style of DJing. It's pretty important.
That's true, yeah.
And, you know, it's easy to make a lot of money being an open format DJ too. That supports your dream. You know, sometimes you got to step out of your comfort zone if that's the cloth that you're cut from, and do it like that. But I want to say at least I got some good DJ fail stories. I think I know some.
Let me hear yours.
I know some good. I had a lot of good times too, for sure. But okay, so there's a few different DJ fails that are like just of extraordinary magnitude. Okay, there's two that I want to say right now. One was my fault. One was not my fault. The one that was my fault was where I was at Mint DJing, and it was lit, of course. And so at Mint, there's like a stage, like a stage probably about like 3 feet off the ground or so, and then you've got your table. So you're really about like, I don't know, where my computer was, it was about 7 feet off the ground. And so I wanted to get the CO2 cannon and spray the crowd on a drop. You know, typical stuff. Mint's got the CO2 cannon. Psh, it's lit. All right, so boom, I'm waiting for the drop, and then I'm hitting the crowd, and I didn't even realize the CO2 cannon went right across the face of my computer screen and completely catapulted it. Like, I'm
no fucking way.
Like, the USB cables like came out immediately, even for the external hard drive.
Shit.
Like, the external hard drive was still on my still on the table.
Fucking way.
And then it just fell onto the ground, and I immediately just like sat there with my hands over my mouth, and I was just like,
when was this?
This was, I couldn't even tell you.
It's been a while.
It was probably like 2018 or 19 or something.
Wow.
I had a different computer, and I was just like, I'm fucked. Like, this is it. Like, my computer's gonna be broken. Like, I had a feeling it fell like in a way where it would just have hyperextended the hinge. Like, if it were fall like open and just split out like that and just ruin it. So I didn't even want to look. I was like frozen in time.
Did the crowd get quiet, or were they just
everybody was just like,
oh shit.
And then so I couldn't even look just because, and then somebody just picked up my laptop and gave it to me, and I was just like, wait, it's still on? It was on. It was still on, and my, God bless MacBook's aluminum bodies. Because it fell like right on the corner, like right on like either that corner or that corner. And,
wow.
And it was fine.
Wow.
It literally, I pulled it, like I just put it back in, plugged it in, everything worked, and I was just like, there is a God, thank you, oh my God.
So how long did it take you after this to get it back up and running?
It was probably
like 5 minutes?
Not even that. It was probably like a minute or two. Like a good like 15 seconds of me just sitting there, and then like they
and then you're like, okay, gotta figure this shit out.
The computer, I'm just like blown away that it still is operating, and
wow.
and it continued to do just fine even after that. This is the
computer.
No, it was.
Oh, I was
it's
about
another
to
one
say
that's
shit.
Still operational. It's just somewhere in my like laptop stack or whatever.
I was gonna say that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. Another one was, God bless Steven Satilli, but we were at Uptown Social, and it was the patio outside on the top deck. Like it was a Sunday fun day, completely packed. Completely packed. Like,
wow.
So much that like people are like all up against like where the stages and the controller, and Steven Sotilli was there, you know him. And so he was trying to tell me that my table needed to be adjusted, like the table that my turntable was on. And I was like, what do you, no, I'm fine. Like literally, boom. He's like, no, I got you. Literally went to go adjust one of the legs of my table and it fell right off the edge of the stage, and it made my whole entire table, the DJ controller, computer, everything fell right into the audience.
Oh my god,
like,
what club was this again?
People, Uptown Social.
Shit. And
Middle of the day.
That's like a big, fall.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, so the stage at that point in time, this was the upstairs deck.
Oh, okay, okay.
And it was not the stage that they use on the, this was up against the butterfly wall.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
And then the stage was probably just like maybe knee height, if anything. And it just felt like it's such a dense crowd that it just fell onto the people. And it didn't completely hit the ground. Like even the control, like that controller weighs a lot. Like
it was this controller that you use now.
Yeah, the Newmark.
That's a big ass one.
Yeah, those motors really weigh it down.
Did someone catch it? Or?
Like everybody it was on them. So yeah, like they kind of, everything got like fucked up and whatnot, but like they still, nothing completely crashed. I remember somebody caught the laptop. Number of people caught the table.
Wow, that's a good crowd.
And I just looked
Shout out to them.
Yeah, seriously. And I just looked at Steven and I was just like, bruh. You owe me some like Casamigos right now.
For real. Oh my god.
But so many good times.
Oh yeah.
I'd say opening up for some bigger acts has always been like the best thing. Like maybe opening up for Recno is probably like one of my tops.
Okay, that was one of your favorites. I actually met him on Holy Ship this year.
No way.
And he was so nice. I was like, yeah, do you remember coming and playing at my club? It's called Trio. He remembered immediately. He was like, yeah, in Charleston, like we ate at Oku. I was like, yes.
No way.
He's like, Daisy took me out. Daisy's one of our artist relations people. She works with like most of the bassier artists that come in. He was like, I remember Daisy. I remember Oku. Remember my openers. Like Trio was awesome.
Aww.
I was like, yes, he remembers Charleston. He was so fun. I'd never seen him live, but he did on Holy Ship. I don't remember what I had going on when he was here in Charleston, but he did like a pool set and then he did like a club set. And both times he had the pigtails and the dress, and I just loved it.
I was so happy to see him, like right when it was like I was ending and he was coming on, and him just like, I'm just being like, oh my god, I love your music and everything so much, like thank you for just being here. And he's just like, oh my god, like yes, of course, like I'm so glad to be here. I was just like,
yeah, that's a really good impersonation of him. That's like exactly how if you've never heard him speak, that's exactly how he speaks. He's awesome. But he crashed, or the club set that he did in Mexico, it crashed like halfway through, and so his set got cut short. It was like supposed to be an hour, and it was like probably a 30-minute set. But it was still so good. He was playing like heavier house music, and at the pool is when he was playing like his sort of what do you call it? That like grizz sort of genre. Like
it's like some funky bass.
Funky bass, yeah. So he was playing a lot of that. I didn't know he played house at all, so that was a really cool experience.
Oof, yeah. He came out of nowhere too. I remember just like, I feel like his come up was relatively quick and accelerated.
Oh yeah. Well, I love him because he genuinely cares about his fans as well. He has this Facebook group that he's very active in. Like, if people ask him questions or say something to him, he always says something back. I think it's called Recno's Pussy Poppers or something like that. Maybe not that exactly. Don't quote me on that, but it's something along those lines. And he's in there just as much as the fans, like typing shit out.
See, that's what it takes,
which is really cool to me.
Everybody nowadays, there's so many artists, there's so many DJs. You really got to kind of step up your game to really rise to the top and set yourself apart, because, like I said, somebody else will come in that is just that much more quote unquote qualified or whatever. And so now, like, social media is such an important part of all of that. It's really teaching, I'd say, even me, and I think all of us to really become more social. And this kind of brings me back into TikTok. I was talking with Gil earlier today on the other podcast episode about whether or not he realized that TikTok started out as a strictly music-based app.
Really?
Because think about it. What is the logo?
Okay, yeah.
It's a quarter note. It's a music note. And that's why dancing is so big on there. You know what I mean? Like it's still encapsulating that whole music thing.
Wow. Okay.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
It went viral, and there's statistically more people on TikTok than there are literally Google, Facebook. Like it's worldwide the most attended, and I've been having to get used to that personally.
It's a great one.
Like now memes are such a thing. I feel old, because I'm just like, man, I've already been through this whole social media thing with MySpace, and like, MySpace was underrated compared to all these other things.
Oh, definitely.
You know, and so it was like SoundCloud meets Facebook, but now it's all just like whatever, and so do you find yourself feeling like you have to do these certain things like that have to do with social media platforms, like with strategy, like
I have been like trying to make myself post a TikTok like as often as I possibly can, even though like I don't know, I just hate doing it.
I know.
I hate posting TikToks.
I think a lot of us, you either hate it or you love it. I'm learning to love it.
I'm trying to learn to love it too, but like some of the stuff I'll do just comes out like I just feel so cringy doing it, even though it'll be something I like worked on for hours, and I'll do like a 3-second thing, and one of the trollers is like whack, and I'm like, God damn it, fuck you.
Like just immediately deflated.
Immediately, I'm like, fuck you, bro. I worked on this shit for hours.
Yeah, they don't even know.
They don't even know. But yeah, that's one of the things that I hate about TikTok, and one of the things I love about Instagram. Like my Instagram people are so nice to me and always so like hype man. I always get hyped up when I post something new that I've been working on Instagram on my story or something. People always slide up like, "Oh, so proud of you. This is great." Then on TikTok, they're just like, "This is so whack. Like, keep this in your drafts." God. I'm like, fuck.
Critics.
But I do love TikTok. I mean, it's dangerous. I'll sit on there for hours.
Yeah, it is what it is, and like it's really sort of teaching me to be like get in the mind of the consumer, and everything is such a short attention span, you know, which is what it is, and everything's so memed out. Like I don't even really do memes like that at all, and I recently did my first video meme that had to do with like we were watching this movie called Risky Business with Tom Cruise, and it's like a really random 80s movie. Anyways, there's so many memeable moments in there. I just like, I had to rewind this specific scene and just pull out my cell phone and like videotape it, and I was like, I'm just gonna meme this later. I know I will, and I hope it's gonna be good. Boom. So I did it, uploaded the same exact video to both TikTok and Instagram, like, you know, moments apart from each other, same hashtags, whatever, and the video on TikTok now has like close to 2,000 plays, and this is like 2 days ago, versus like Instagram, which is like 500 plays.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, the
you will get
engagement rate,
more.
yeah, like so many more eyes are available, I think, outside of your network on TikTok than versus Instagram. I feel like Instagram is really good for people that like know who you are and like they are just following you like that, versus TikTok it's just like free game.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Like, definitely. And TikTok's so good about knowing what you want to see.
Yeah, their algorithms.
The algorithm is crazy. Like they always know what you want to see. It's a little creepy, honestly.
Yeah, you know, but I have to accept that everything's been creepy. Like these phones are really watching us all the time, listening to us all the time. Like that's it's more subliminal than clicking like the terms of agreement for an app, but you know, we're being watched regardless.
Oh, for sure. I was talking to one of my homegirls about this. She was like saying that, because I was talking with her about we both learned our Spanish as adults, so we both struggle with it a lot. Like we both struggle a lot, and I was like I haven't been practicing much. Like my Spanish has been ass lately when I've been trying to talk to family or whatever. She's like, here's a good tip for you: change your settings on your phone to Spanish, And that's like a
Whoa.
game changer. And so I did it. And right as soon as I did it, I only was getting TikToks in Spanish. Like,
Exactly.
it was crazy.
I see, like, it's integrated into your settings like that it can recognize that.
it was wild though, because I think you have to go on TikTok and pick which language you want your stuff in. And mine was still set to English. But it was still like all my TikToks were in Spanish, and it was like, oh, you want to practice your Spanish, do this. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
my
this
God.
was literally like a 5-minute conversation that we had like a couple days prior.
I swear, like,
It's weird.
We'll say something like once and then boom, pull out an ad and there's like the dog food we were talking about, or
Oh yeah.
or like talking about music production, then you're getting sample packs, like
Oh, definitely.
advertisements. Sometimes I'll just even be only thinking about something, boom, pull up, and I'll be like, okay, I know I didn't say anything about this, and I'm getting an ad for it right now, and it's
Oh, yeah,
different.
it's absolutely crazy.
It's crazy. But you know, anyways, what all do you have on? We've talked about. Have we really talked about what's going on right now? Like, what kind of upcoming shows do you have at this point?
So I'm at Trio doing lights tonight and tomorrow. So tomorrow, it's apparently a really big local artist. Well, Charlotte local, Trey and Mondo. Have you heard of those guys? I haven't either yet, but I'm really excited, you know.
Is it house music?
I believe so, but when they said they were playing in Charleston, like the whole Charlotte, a lot of people I know from Charlotte were going crazy, like.
Whoa.
So they're really big in Charlotte, I guess.
You probably get some out of towners.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that. And then as far as that goes, Trio, I think I am slowing down for, I've told you this before we started recording, but January, February, I'm just going to try to chill a little bit. This whole year was wild. It's been really a lot of music stuff. I'm going to just, you know, focus on, well, I have a second job. I'm at a restaurant as well, so I'm going to really just relax, focus on the restaurant a little more. Then in March, come back and be ready.
Yeah, it's good to take a couple months, work on yourself. Like,
Yeah,
I
get
feel
back
the
into
same
production.
way. Yeah, exactly. And it can be a lot to just keep up with, like show after show after show after show. Next thing you know, it's the end of the year, and like I didn't really get much time to like produce as much as I wanted to, or whatever, make as much money that I needed to. Like, these things take time.
Exactly. That was my thing. It was like, well, I guess this year I wanted to have 5 tracks produced, or I'm sorry, last year, I keep forgetting we're in 2023 now. This year I wanted to have 5 tracks produced. That was the goal for myself, and I only got to 2. But it's because it was like my Friday, Saturday, Sundays for a second, it was like restaurant in the morning, Trio at night, restaurant in the morning, Trio at night, restaurant in the morning, like maybe a different club, but just like no sleep. And then whenever you are at home, it's not like you want to sit down on Ableton and work on music. You just want to sleep.
Seriously, yeah.
So
you gotta be in the mood.
Yeah, exactly. I want to get some more tracks signed this year and really focus on producing more than well, not more than DJing and lighting, but just like have a healthy balance between things.
No, I agree. I'm trying to step back as well. It's just like that. I want to. It's so hard for me to sometimes to just say no to a show, because I feel like I always just want to still keep relevance in the scene
Definitely.
by doing shows. And those, I just know that the more you put yourself out there, the more other opportunities come through. But I really am working on taking a step back to work on my things, save up even more money, and literally just plot on bigger things. Like that meme that's coming out lately, that's where it's like, big things coming. It's like, yeah, like the DJ in your doorway at night.
Definitely. I've seen that one.
Stay posted. Huge announcement coming soon. Big things coming.
Big things coming. This is going to be my year.
Yes, exactly.
It's hard though, because DJing makes you money and producing like takes all my money away.
I know.
Because it's always like, oh, I don't have this plugin. I don't have
Exactly.
this sample pack. I'm gonna cop this real quick before I do this, and then you just go down the rabbit hole. Whereas DJing, all right, I show up, play for a few hours, and then I walk out with cash. Like, it's hard to say no to that.
It is hard to say no to that, and it's a privilege to be a part of that.
It is.
And there's always a slot for like just any upcoming DJs. Like, the more you practice your craft at home, you'll be that much more qualified coming into the scene, because there's always I think, room for a good artist, no matter what. Like, if you're really doing that well, there should be a spot for you. Like, don't get discouraged, anybody. This podcast is about talking about the pursuit of sound in the sense of all ways, like trying to make it to the top, like get success. Like, it's tough for people that are just starting out to understand exactly how to navigate the come up. Like, it's not all about the come up. It's about, being happy with what you're doing. Like, it's not about getting fame and fortune. If you're trying to follow it like that, it won't come like as if you're just legitimately passionate about it. And I think that, life has a way of sort of filtering out those people and letting the right cream rise to the top and stuff like that. And it's just cool that, like, you hit the scene, because there aren't enough girl DJs here, or lady DJs here in town. I'm like, you're not a girl, like, you're
lady.
You're a young lady, if you will. And so I think that's important. Like, there's you out here that you've been doing it for a little while now.
Yeah, it's been a little minute.
I really only know like maybe one or two others, like, here in Charleston.
So DJ Alex,
Right.
she kills it. She became
ALX.
a trio resident this year. Big congrats to Alex. She's a great one to listen to. You're right. Oh, DJ SJ, she's really cool.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
sure where she plays at these days. I want to say like Uptown maybe is where I saw her last. DJ Maddie Reese out of Republic. She's awesome. Very, very sweet person as well.
Good point. Shay Balboa.
And
there was Entangled Mind when she lived here.
Entangled Mind, they moved to
Her and Smooth. No, because there's also trips to
Entangled Mind. They're all in, what is it, Denver now?
Yeah, no, so Entangled Mind was somebody else. She went up to the Northeast.
Yeah, she's
and then trips to Jay and Smooth, both two other girl DJs. They went to Denver, yeah.
I think Entangled Mind is doing crazy things now. She was at Tipper and Friends.
Yeah.
She was at what's that really Wookiee festival that was supposed to be happening in Charleston this year and didn't?
Oh, fuck. I don't even know right now.
Okay, well, I'll think of it. She was going to be, or she's on that lineup. I don't think the one in Charleston, but apparently now she's working out of, do you know Steve Darko? He's a Dirty Bird DJ. Steve Darko does, like, he's an amazing sound designer. So he has his own, like, sound design company, sort of, I think he teaches. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he teaches in, Marissa, Entangled Mind, is working out of his company.
Okay.
Whatever it is they do. I want to say sound design, but...
And I think she's, like, playing guitar along with her DJ sets and stuff like that, which is always cool.
She does, like, a lot of, I guess, experimental bass is what you'd call it, but
yeah,
she's sick. And also a really sweet person, like, yeah. Great person to know.
Yeah, definitely check out Entangled Mind, Mind. And who have you been listening to a lot lately?
So SZA dropped an album like a week,
I think it's like
2 weeks ago.
That's like 2 weeks ago?
I don't know.
Is it like the slow tempo? Like
I've been listening to that nonstop since it dropped.
It's like kind of R&B-ish.
Yeah,
like,
I'm also
saucy.
a big like R&B hoe too. So and I love SZA. As soon as she dropped SOS, I've listened to that album constantly.
Yeah, I remember going through that album and being like, damn, I don't know if I can play this in the club.
No, can't play it in the club. Well, there's a couple tracks on there like Conceited, Kill Bill, Forgiveless, I think that you could play in the club, but like I typically, like when I was in the airport, I listened to the album the whole way through, same way back. Like, I usually go to bed listening to something, and that's been my go-to-sleep album. My car album, I definitely need to find something new, because I don't want to make myself get tired of this album, but it's so good.
Yeah, I find myself being the same about listening to an album. Like, I will literally obsess and listen to an album on repeat until I'm sick of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, just on repeat all day long, and then eventually I get tired of it.
Well, what about you? What are you vibing to right now?
Right now, it's tough to say. I'm listening to some new experimental, like not experimental, like some new like weird bass stuff. Is really what I'm magnetizing to. I'm listening to a lot of podcasts actually as well lately, which I don't know. I feel so old. Like,
no, podcasts are great.
Yeah, like 33 now, and I just like feel like I'm my dad just listening to the news sometimes. But no, there's like all sorts of podcasts, and like I even was thinking about doing this podcast before I even really liked podcasts like that.
Right.
Just because I realized that me and my friends all have such great conversations that I think are up to snuff to be listened to against other podcasts. And so I'm really stoked that everybody is down to be a guest. And, you know, this is about, you know, keeping the community tight-knit, plugging you, you know, giving people insights onto what it's like on our side of things.
Right.
And yeah, you know, I ended up at the end of the year, Spotify told me I was in the 88th percentile for the music podcast category, which means like I made more content than 88% of the rest of them.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Which blew my mind because I was like, I started it in April, I believe, and only had out like not even 20 episodes. But that was encouraging. And so, you know, but I will just go on and listen to a bunch of new stuff. I like crate digging these days. Like, I recently found out about this artist from Costa Rica called Brainwaves.
Okay.
Jay, you know, DJ Kinetic. He hit me up asking me if I wanted to remix something. And I said, no, he's like, yeah, I want you to remix something by this artist for Station Underground Records, which is like his record label. And basically, it's this guy named Brainwaves. And I was like, all right, let's see what this is about. Boom, go to the SoundCloud. He's got like 2,000 to 3,000 or some odd like followers on there, and his branding seemed on point. And I was just like, all right, let's see it. Listen to it. It's just like really cool bass stuff.
Brainwaves. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's like BRAINWAVEZ.
Okay.
And it's just really cool. For some reason, I just like to get my like face melted, but just in a peculiar way. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm not the biggest rhythm fan, to be honest. Like,
okay,
you can't catch me listening to that like in my off time in my car. Really, I'll probably be bumping something else that's just like a little bit more weird bass, so to say.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, but let's see, how long are we at right now? Okay, word. Damn, we've gone a little over an hour, which isn't bad.
Sweet.
Like, time really flies in here.
It does.
Yeah, I'm just like keeping an eye on it because I have a music video shoot here. Like, the homie's gonna pull up around 5:30.
Okay.
So it's like 5:28 right now. I think we might have to wrap it up.
Well, thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Yeah, of course, and more in the future. And y'all, please, like, I haven't really started plugging this, but if you want to, just go ahead and click subscribe and stay posted, because I'm really releasing podcasts exponentially more and more. Like, I'm probably doing at least like 2 a week now, and that's pretty good for a podcast. So I would appreciate it if anybody likes what we're talking about. Just, you know, stay in the loop. On Spotify podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and I'm going to be doing this on YouTube as well here soon. Anchor FM as well. But yeah, so once again, we got Carly, DJ Hotbox, the one and only, here this afternoon. Go check her out. All streaming platforms.
Please
like,
do.
Just type in Hotbox HTBX. It's like without the vowels.
Without the vowels, absolutely.
You got live mixes up?
I do. I have some on my SoundCloud.
Go and check out that SoundCloud. Mixcloud is actually a good website
I
for
heard
that
that Mixcloud was good too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get one of those.
Yeah, they'll never copyright, like, take your shit down for copyright.
Nice.
Just a final plug. But all right, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you have like the best rest of your day.
Yeah,
and
you too.
I can't wait to come through Trio soon and see you do the damn thing on the lights.
Yeah, come on through anytime.
Seriously. All right, well, Till next time, peace.
Peace.